Hi everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the precut software step by step. Whether you're a beginner or using it for the first time, don't worry. I'll guide you through everything in a simple and easy way. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to understand the full workflow and start using the precut software confidently. First, you need to download the software. To do that, visit www.protect-plus.com/precut. On this website, you can find all the necessary information, along with the precut software file. From there, simply click on the download link, and the software will be downloaded directly to your system. Once the file is downloaded, double-click on it to begin the installation process. A setup window will open. Click on Next to proceed. Follow the on-screen instructions and select the necessary settings as required to complete the installation. After the installation is complete, open the precut software. When you launch it for the first time, an unzipping window will appear. Once that process is finished, the login page will be displayed. Here you will see two options: sign in and register. If you have already registered, simply sign in using your email and password. If this is your first time using the software, go ahead and select Register to set up your account. Once you proceed, you'll be directed to the registration page. Here, you'll need to enter your basic details along with the required codes, including the gift card code, activation code, and invitation code. To complete your registration, you'll need to subscribe to one of our plans based on your requirements. Once subscribed, you'll receive a gift card code, activation code, and an invite code to proceed. We also offer a 14-day free trial for new users. Now let me show you how to activate the free trial. To start your free trial and receive the required codes, visit www.protect-plus.com/precut. Once you're on the website, scroll down slightly, not all the way to the bottom, and look for the Start Free Trial option. Click on it, and you'll be redirected to the trial page. Here you can see what's included in the 14-day free trial. This includes the ability to cut up to 2 rolls of PPF, a total area of 45 square meters, access to 2 AI nesting operations, and full access to the software's data library. Now, click on Start Free Trial. You'll be taken to a registration form where you'll need to enter your basic details, such as your name, email, mobile number, company name, address, etc. Make sure to complete all the fields marked with an asterisk, as these are mandatory. Once you've filled in all the required details, simply click on Confirm to proceed. On the next page, you'll be asked to review your request. Take a moment to verify all the details, and if needed, you can make any changes here. Once everything looks correct, click on Confirm Order to continue. Once you confirm the order, your request will be successfully placed. You can then proceed to sign up on the website. You'll also receive a confirmation email with your invoice and all the required codes. I'll show you that in the next step. When you click on Sign Up, you'll be prompted to create a password for your account. Enter your new password, confirm it, and then proceed to sign up. Once you're signed in, you'll be taken to your My Account page. Here, you can manage different sections like your orders, invoices, payment methods, software access, address details, and security settings. For now, we'll focus only on the software section, as that's what we need to proceed. Next, click on the precut tab. This will take you directly to the page where your gift card code and activation code are displayed. Make sure to copy them carefully, as you'll need them to activate your software. Here you can also see the expiration date, so you'll know exactly how long your license is valid for. Earlier, as I mentioned, you'll receive a confirmation email. So now, let's go ahead and check the mail. Once you open it, you'll find all the important details, including your codes and account information. Now, let's get back to the registration page of the software. At this point, you should have all the required codes ready so we can proceed with the activation process without any interruptions. After filling in all the details, carefully copy each and every code and paste them into the registration page. Once everything is entered correctly, go ahead and click on Register to complete the process. Now, I'll go ahead and sign in using my email and password. once you log in successfully, you'll be taken directly into the precut software. Once you log in successfully, the main dashboard of the precut software will load. This is where you can access all the core features and tools of the software. Before we move further, let me quickly walk you through some useful resources available on the home screen. By clicking on these banners, you can access important information related to the software and products. Starting with this section. Here, you can explore detailed information about Protect Plus PPF. You'll also find certifications such as SGS and other related details. Next, we have the Installation Tips section. This provides step-by-step guidance with visual references, making it easier to understand the correct installation process. And finally, the e-user manual. This is especially helpful if you ever get stuck while working. It includes detailed explanations of all the tools, along with guidance on plotting and usage, supported with images for better clarity. As an added benefit, every roll of Protect Plus PPF comes with a complimentary gift card. This can be used for cutting that specific roll within the software. The gift card is valid for 30 days, giving you enough time to utilize it efficiently. Before we move ahead, there's one important section to take note of. Here you can see your available credits along with the number of days remaining before your subscription expires. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on this, as it determines your access to the software features. You'll see a Profile tab. Click on it to open your profile details. Here, you can redeem your gift card after purchase. Simply enter your gift card code in the field provided. If the code is entered incorrectly, an error message will appear. But if the code is correct, your account will be subscribed automatically. Now, we'll move to the main area for that Select Kits search, where you can select vehicles and categories such as exterior, interior, motorcycles, etc. All these categories are listed here for easy access. From this section, you can select the brand, model, year, and variant of a vehicle. Let's take an example. We'll choose Audi from the drop-down menu, then select the model, year, and variant. Once selected, you'll see all the available designs, including the full part design for that vehicle. Here you can see the total length and total area of the PPF required. When you adjust and arrange the parts in a more compact way, the total length can be reduced automatically. I'll explain this process in full detail later in the video. Next, we need to open the design we'll be working on. You can do this by double-clicking the file or by selecting it and clicking Open on the upper toolbar. This will load the design so we can start pre-cutting or editing. In the next section of the video, I'll explain every function and area in detail, so you'll have a clear understanding of how everything works. If you click on the close icon, the current tab will close, and you'll be taken back to the Kit Search menu tab. Now, let's get started with the main functions. For this, we'll select another car. We'll go with the Tesla Model Y. Just like before, select the brand and model from the drop-down menus, and we'll proceed from there. Here, we have two complete vehicle kits. One of them is labeled Wrapped in Front, which means it includes extra portions to allow the PPF to be tucked into the parts. I'll go ahead and select the Wrapped kit for this example. This is the main workspace of the precut software. This area serves as your primary editing window, where all the design and cutting adjustments are made. The gray section you see here is the canvas, also known as the plotting area. This is where your patterns are arranged and prepared before sending them for cutting. To work efficiently in this software, you'll need a mouse with a scroll wheel and both left and right buttons. The scroll wheel is used for zooming in and out, and if you press the scroll wheel and drag, the canvas will move smoothly. This makes it easy to navigate your designs while working. To select a pattern or a part, simply place your mouse over it and right-click once. You'll see a red outline appear indicating that the pattern has been selected. If you click and hold the right mouse button and drag, you can draw a selection box on the screen. Any patterns that fall inside this box will be selected together. This is especially useful when you want to select multiple parts at once instead of picking them one by one. To select multiple patterns, you can use Shift plus right-click. This allows you to pick multiple parts one by one, and it's especially useful when the patterns are not next to each other or when you want to select them randomly instead of as a group. Once a pattern, or multiple patterns, are selected, you can move them freely by holding the right mouse button and dragging. This allows you to reposition the parts anywhere on the canvas for better arrangement. When you place your cursor anywhere on the canvas or over a pattern and use the scroll wheel, the zoom will focus exactly on that point. So wherever your mouse is positioned, that area will stay in focus as you zoom in or out, making navigation much more precise. And if you press and hold the scroll wheel while moving the mouse, you can pan across the canvas. This makes it easy to move around your workspace without changing your zoom level. And if you click the left mouse button, out of the plotting area, the view will automatically recenter so that all the patterns fit within the screen. This is useful when you've moved around a lot and want to quickly bring everything back into view. If you select a pattern and then left-click on it, the view will zoom into that specific part, filling the screen. This helps you focus on a single piece when you need to inspect or adjust it more precisely. When you double-click on a pattern, it enters editing mode, where you'll see the outline with anchor points. To exit, simply double-click anywhere outside the pattern on the canvas. We'll go deeper into this while covering the anchor tool later in the video. If you're ever unsure about the mouse controls or shortcuts, you can check them anytime by clicking the question mark icon in the top right corner. That will show you a quick reference for all the key functions. On the top left corner, you'll see the canvas size. By default, it's set to 1.49 by 15 meters. There's also a drop-down menu here. From this menu, you can change the canvas size, choose from several fixed sizes, or even create a custom canvas to match your specific needs. I'll set the canvas to 1.50 by 15 meters, which matches the standard size of PPF rolls. Now, you'll notice there's some bleed space around the edges, which gives us extra room for adjustments during cutting. Next, let's take a look at the tools available in this software and see how each one helps us work efficiently. Let's start with the plotting tool. When you click the plotting tool, the plotting preview window will appear. In this case, it opens immediately because there are no misalignments or overlapping parts on the canvas. Now, I'll drag the doors out of the plotting area. You'll notice they turn red, indicating they're outside the safe zone. Let's go ahead and try plotting to see how it behaves. As you can see, the pop-up window shows an error. The patterns are overlapping. The software also highlights the overlapping areas in red, so you know exactly where the problem is. There are two types of errors that can affect plotting. The first is when a pattern is partially outside the plotting area, and the second is when patterns overlap each other. Both of these need to be corrected before you can proceed with plotting. Let's take a look at the plotting preview. Here you can see how much area of the PPF is being used and the total length of the PPF required for this job. I don't have a plotter connected to my system, so you won't see any devices listed here. Otherwise, this section would display all available plotters ready for use. The segment option is useful when your plotter isn't very advanced. It divides the plotting area into smaller segments, so the plotter cuts the PPF in parts rather than all at once. You can also adjust the length of these segments based on your preference and the capabilities of your plotter. You can select this option to have the plotter recenter to its starting position automatically once it finishes cutting. This helps keep everything organized and ready for the next job. I generally don't recommend using the segment option for plotting unless it's absolutely necessary. It's best to let the plotter cut the PPF in one go whenever possible for a smoother workflow. And when you click Plot, the plotter will start the cutting process based on the design and settings you've prepared. Only the patterns that are inside the plotting area will be plotted. Any parts outside this area won't be cut. I'll show you this in action. You'll see that only the patterns inside the plotting area get cut, while anything outside the canvas is ignored. Now I'll move some of the parts outside the canvas, and we'll try plotting again to see the difference. See? The part I moved out of the canvas is no longer showing in the plotting preview, which means it won't be included in the cut. And once I place it back inside the canvas, you can see it reappears in the plotting preview, ready to be cut again. To demonstrate the next tool clearly, I'll first move all the patterns out of the canvas. When arranging the patterns, the challenge isn't just placing them, it's aligning them closely and accurately. If they're not aligned properly, you end up wasting a lot of space on the PPF, which reduces efficiency. To solve this, we can use the next tool, which will automatically arrange and align the patterns closely within the canvas. This helps minimize wasted space and makes the layout much more efficient. Here, you can see that this part has been aligned properly, sitting closely within the layout without wasting space. Next, we'll select another group of patterns to work with. If you zoom in, you'll notice that the patterns are packed closely together, but there's still a small gap between them. We'll repeat the same alignment process for the rest of the group to ensure all patterns are packed efficiently. But there's one downside if you use this on a single pattern. It will align the pattern to the right side of other patterns, which isn't always ideal. It's better to use it on a group of patterns, so everything aligns neatly and efficiently together. After aligning the patterns this way, let's check the plotting preview. You can see the difference in PPF usage. Previously, it was 16.35 square meters, and now it's 15.37 square meters. That's almost 10% less material used just by aligning the patterns efficiently. Now let's move on to a very handy set of tools: copy, paste, delete, and clear. While their names might give you an idea, I'll show you how each one works in the software and explain how they can make your workflow faster and more efficient. To demonstrate these tools, we'll go back to the kit search. First, we'll select Interior from the top menu and then choose the car model. For this example, we'll go with a Ferrari. To open the interior pattern, simply double-click on it and it will load onto the canvas. I'll select this pattern and press Ctrl+C, or click the copy icon on the top toolbar. This will copy the pattern so we can use it elsewhere. Now I'll switch back to our previous Tesla tab. Here you can paste the pattern we copied from the Ferrari. You can either press Ctrl+V or use the paste icon on the toolbar. When using Ctrl+V, the pattern will be pasted instantly at the current position of your mouse pointer. On the other hand, if you use the paste icon, you'll first select the tool, then click anywhere on the canvas to place the pattern exactly where you want it. Next, you can delete a pattern or a group of patterns. Simply select the patterns and press Ctrl+Delete, or click the delete icon on the toolbar. This will remove the selected patterns from your canvas. There's also an option to clear all patterns from the canvas. It's not used very often, but it's useful if you want to start fresh and create a new layout from scratch. For undo and redo, you can use the shortcuts Ctrl+Z to undo and Shift+Ctrl+Z to redo. Alternatively, you can use the undo and redo icons in the top toolbar. Next, we have a very important tool that you'll use most of the time: the Group and Ungroup tool. First, we'll select multiple patterns and click on the grouping icon. This will group all the selected patterns together, making it much easier to move and arrange multiple parts at once. Now, we'll select these grouped doors and use the Ungroup option. Once ungrouped, the patterns will turn red, and each individual piece can be moved, dragged, or adjusted separately. Sometimes you may not want a cutout or a hole in a pattern. Let me show you exactly what I mean by using this door as an example. Now, we'll ungroup this set of patterns, and I'll show you how to remove the door handle hole from this door. See, it's that simple. Next, we have a couple of tools that aren't used very often, but they can be handy. One is the Union tool, and the other is the Intersect tool. The Intersect tool has 4 options. First, I will show you the Union tool. I'll select these 2 patterns and overlap them. Now, I'll press the Union tool, and just like that, the 2 patterns are merged into a single pattern, as you can see here. Next, we'll explore the Intersect tool, starting with the first option. I'll repeat the same process as before by overlapping the 2 patterns. Here you can see that after using the Intersect tool, only the overlapping portion of the patterns remains. Everything else outside that overlap is removed automatically. Now, let's move on to the second option of the Intersect tool and see how it works in action. With this option, pattern A is subtracted from pattern B. This creates a new shape, where the parts of pattern B that were overlapped by pattern A are removed, while the rest of B stays intact. Next, we have a tool that does the opposite of the previous one. Here, pattern B is subtracted from pattern A, giving you a new shape where the parts of A overlapped by B are removed. The last option of the Intersect tool only removes the overlapping portion between the patterns. Everything else stays intact, as you can see here. Next, we have a simple but useful tool, the Mirror tool. With this, you can flip or mirror any pattern or even a group of patterns vertically or horizontally, depending on your layout needs. Next, we have the cutting tools, which work just like a knife. These tools let you split patterns precisely so you can adjust or remove sections as needed. The first cutting tool will split a shape into 2 pieces. Once cut, they are automatically turned into two separate patterns, with their ends still aligned and joined. The next cutting tool also splits a pattern into two separate pieces, but in this case, the ends remain open, giving you more flexibility for adjustments. These separate pieces with open ends can be rejoined using the next tool, the polygon tool, which lets you connect them precisely. The next tool lets you unlock the patterns so you can resize or stretch it freely. After unlocking, when you select a pattern, a transforming bounding box will appear with blue squares on the edges. You can click and drag these blue squares to adjust the size or stretch the pattern as needed. Once you've made your adjustments, you can lock the pattern again. This will remove the bounding box and exit the transforming mode, keeping the pattern fixed in its new size and position. Now we come to the most awaited tool, the one I've been excited to show you. This is what really makes our software stand out: the AI nesting feature. With just a click, it will automatically arrange all the patterns on the canvas, packing them in a compact layout to maximize PPF savings. When you click the AI nesting tool, a pop-up window will appear. Here you can see the current plotting preview of your canvas, along with several adjustable settings. You can tweak the canvas width, the spacing between patterns, the time allowed for nesting, rotation options, and the segment length, which is the portion of the PPF roll you want to plot. Once you're happy with the settings, simply press Start and confirm. The AI will then begin nesting, arranging all the patterns automatically on the canvas. Keep in mind, the AI nesting may take a little time to process depending on the number of patterns and complexity. After processing, the new nested layout will appear below. You can compare the PPF length required. Initially, it was 10.32 meters, and now it's reduced to 9.60 meters. To use this optimized layout, just click Add to Canvas, and it will be applied. Here we have two sets. The old layout is on top, and the newly nested layout is below. We'll select the old one and replace it with the new optimized version to save space and material. If you want to make sure everything is perfectly aligned, you can use the automatic aligning tool we used at the beginning. This will neatly arrange the patterns and reduce any wasted space. Now you can plot your layout. Thanks to the AI nesting and proper alignment, it's arranged for maximum efficiency with minimal material wastage. Next, we'll look at a set of advanced tools in the software. You'll find these tools on the left vertical bar, and they offer more precise control for complex tasks. The first tool, which looks like a mouse pointer, doesn't need much explanation. We've been using it from the start. It's simply the selection tool, just like your regular mouse pointer. The next tool, represented by a hand icon, is used to move around the canvas. It works just like pressing the scroll wheel and dragging, giving you an easy way to navigate across your workspace. Next is the ruler tool, which lets you measure parts directly on the canvas. This is especially useful when you want to verify dimensions and ensure everything matches the actual car accurately. To use it, select the ruler tool, click on your starting point, and then drag to the end point of the area you want to measure. It will instantly show you the distance between those 2 points. If you need more precision, you can move the part out of the canvas, zoom in on it, and then take the measurement more accurately. Next, we have the pen tool, which lets you draw line segments directly on the canvas. You can use these lines to create custom shapes, and with the polygon tool, you can easily convert them into a closed shape. Next, we have the text tool, which allows you to add text onto the canvas. After selecting the tool, click anywhere on the canvas where you want the text to appear. A pop-up will open where you can type your text and choose the font and a size before placing it. I'll go with Tesla, since we're currently working on a Tesla Model Y. Once I type the text, I will select the font I want and the font size. There will be a preview of the text. Press OK to confirm. This works just like all the other patterns we've used. You can edit it, move it, group it, and perform all the same actions with the text. Up next, we have the basic shape-making tools, which allow you to create different shapes directly on the canvas. If you create an oval shape and hold down Shift while drawing, it will turn into a perfect circle. Our next tool allows us to import PLT files, which are plotter files. This means you can bring in pre-made layouts directly into the software and have them ready for plotting. Now, I'll show you a few small PLT files and how they can be imported into the software. When you click on the PLT import icon, it will open the file browser, allowing you to select the file you want to bring onto the canvas. This is the PLT file of an angry bird. As you can see, it's made up of individual shapes that form the complete design. Next, I'll import 2 more PLT files onto the canvas so you can see how they integrate. This shape isn't fully closed, so I'll use the polygon tool to close it, making it ready for plotting. You can also import image files onto the canvas. I'll show you how, but keep in mind this isn't something you'll need to do every time. I'll import the logo of our company onto the canvas. Once it's in, you can resize and transform it to any size you need. Next, we have a tool that enables a shadow for any pattern you select. Now, it's not a real shadow, it's actually an outline that appears on the canvas in place of the pattern. This is really useful to keep track of the position of each pattern while you're working. We can delete the shadow after the use. Next, we have the anchor tool. For this tool, I will enable the shadow as well so that we can see the original shape. When you click the anchor tool after selecting a pattern, it enters editing mode and displays anchor points on the pattern for precise adjustments. These green dots are the anchor points. You can select each point by clicking on it. When you select one point, the adjacent points are automatically selected along with it for smoother editing. Once you've selected the points, you can simply drag them with your mouse to adjust and reshape the pattern. This is exactly why I recommended enabling the shadow first. It lets you see the original shape while you're making adjustments. With the next tool, you can add anchor points between existing ones. Simply select the tool and draw a line wherever you want to insert new points along the path. After adding new anchor points, you can use them to reshape the pattern as needed, giving you even more control over the design. Next, and finally, we have one of the most important tools, the expansion tool. This allows you to expand a pattern outward or inward. It's a very useful feature for technicians, especially when they need a bit of extra length for tucking in the PPF. To demonstrate this, I'll move the hood out of the canvas so we can work on it more easily. After selecting the pattern, click on the expansion tool. A pop-up window will appear where you can choose outward or inward expansion and specify the exact length you want to expand the pattern by. I'll go with outward expansion and set the length to 10 millimeters. Then click OK. The pattern will be expanded. The original shape is shown by the blue line, and the red line represents the expanded pattern. Now I'll demonstrate an inward expansion using the same 10 millimeters. Same as before, it is expanded inward. You can also choose to expand just a selected portion of the pattern, giving you more precise control over the adjustments. To do this, enter editing mode by double-clicking the pattern, select the portion you want, and then click the expansion tool and enter the measurements. As you can see here, only the selected portion has been expanded, while the rest of the pattern remains unchanged. Finally, once you're done, save your work for future use. You can find it later in the Saved Kits section. You can add any description you like so that it's easy to find. Go on to the Saved Kits section and you can find the saved kit. Later on, you can simply select the saved kit and plot it directly without needing any additional editing or arranging. You can then plot without wasting time. So that's it, folks. It is the complete tutorial of the precut software. I have covered all the essentials that you need for becoming a pro with this software. Thank you for watching.